Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's live stream AMA. And I know I there was a glitch. Okay, usually that sounds literally. Okay, look, I made these intro videos a while back when we used to kind of do them a little differently, and they have a bunch of empty space at the end of them after the music stops playing. And now I'm still using them, but I usually can just remove them. But for some reason, our system was not letting me remove it, so we had to wait it out and just sit here together in awkward silence. So we love technology. Anyways, welcome to this week's live stream AMA. This one I think is going to be like kind of like informational, so get your notepads out. We're going to talk through a bunch of different systems and things that are coming up. And if you have any questions, throw them in the YouTube live chat or the Twitter live chat, not the comments, the live chat. And let's bring up Luke. Let's hope it works. There we go. Luke, can you hear me? I don't think he knows that he's live right now. What is wrong with technology right now? Hold on. Is it not working? I'm so confused. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, write my name in the live chat if you can hear me. You can hear me. Okay. Could you see Luke when I brought him up? Okay, I'm gonna try bringing him up again. I think it's just glitching really hard.
Sorry. I was locked in. I was in the landowner channel. Yeah.
Okay, it was already glitching, so I was like, oh my gosh, Luke can't tell that he's live either. Like something's wrong.
Oh no, I had no idea. I was in Discord.
Here we go. All right. Welcome to the most chaotic introduction. I don't know if this is the most chaotic. We've had a few chaotic ones. Anyways, we're here. All right.
Okay. Yeah, no, excited to do this AMA today. Yeah, no, it's crazy. The last week in markets has been insane. Yeah, this is probably the most fearful that markets in the macro have been in. Honestly, this is worse than FTX, which is kind of crazy, right? Yeah. I think the extreme or the fear and greed index is at like a 3 or something right now. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, it's interesting because crypto's in the spot where basically everything gets affected by macro too, whether it be whatever is happening with tariffs, all this kind of stuff, right? And macro affects crypto affects this game. And yeah, all I want to do to start is kind of assure you guys that the Pixels team is going to stay here. We are in this for the long run. We still have a lot of energy. We care. We want to build the best game possible and the best ecosystem possible. And we're not going anywhere. The team is funded. The team has the runway that we need to go out and build and do the things that we want to do. And yeah, we're still very excited about what we're building. That said, not everything is perfect, right? So what bad markets do is sometimes in the bad market, companies can outperform and be an exception, right? I would say that Pixels in the 2022-2023 market was one of those cases where we were an exceptional company at that time. And we were kind of market agnostic, right? One of like very, very few. And right now I would say we're not at the point of being like extreme exceptions, and not really anybody in the market is right now. I think if you look at like 30-day gains across crypto, there's only like 1 or 2 coins that are positive, which is kind of crazy, right? But that doesn't mean that we couldn't be an exceptional company, right? So how I like to view bad markets is good markets, you can get away with things that aren't working perfectly across every area of a game, of a company, all of that. Bad markets kind of expose some of your faults more, right? You have less tolerance to make mistakes in a bad market. And now is a really good time to kind of question some of the stuff we've been doing fundamentally. And I know that some people will be like, we've been saying this the whole time. You guys are idiots, all of this kind of stuff. But I think you guys need to remember, hindsight is 2020 in some circumstances, right? And then the team does have to choose and focus on the right things to be building. So there's a few things that we are going to start to introduce soon. We warned about them last week, but the 2 things I'm excited about are, 1, staking is coming. Staking is awesome, and I don't think everybody fully understands what's coming on here. What we want to do basically for staking is we want to expand the ecosystem, right? So we had our first announcement last week of a really big partner coming and joining the Pixel ecosystem. And I don't think people quite understand how this ties in with staking, because what we're doing there is quite cool, and there's more stuff like that coming. So basically, last week we announced an awesome partnership with Forgotten Runes, right? Forgotten Runes, I think, is going to be one of the biggest games in Web3. And if you guys haven't played it, I would check it out. Is there like a little demo video we can show if people haven't seen it? And have all of you guys actually checked out Forgotten Runes yet?
The demo video, I can ping them and see if they have some sort of video, but we launched like a I can show some tweets in a second here, but let me ping them and see if they have like a.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know what Forgotten Runes is, Forgotten Runes is a game that's on Ronin. It went live a week or two ago, and it's another pixelated MMO game, but it's really different than Pixels. It's more centered around like the lore, the narrative. It has a lot of elements that you guys have been asking for in Pixels that we just haven't been able to get out because we've been focused on economics or some of the other pieces of the game, right? And the idea here is we basically want more things for you guys to do with the pixel token that you've been earning inside of the game and more ways that the pixel token is used. And I think this was a little bit lost on some people. So essentially, this ties in with our staking system in a very interesting way. And let me see if I can actually bring up our staking system too, so you guys kind of understand what's going on here. Basically, the deal is with Forgotten Runes and any other partner coming in, this includes Pixel Dungeons, is, the deal is they get some pixel tokens to give out to users, right? Then the deal is they also have to use the pixel token inside of their game for in-game purchases, right? So if they don't use the game, or if they don't hit like a certain amount of in-game purchase of the pixel token, that deal is like, subject to change a little bit with them transparently. So there's good alignment there with us. And what we're actually building out with staking is a decentralized way to do this. So our staking system, it might come out next week. I'm really hoping it will, but it's going to come out in April regardless. And what this does is you're actually going to be able to choose what game in the Pixel ecosystem that you can stake to. So you can stake your pixel to core pixels. You can stake your pixel to Forgotten Runes. You can stake your pixel to Pixel Dungeons and any other partner ecosystem project that's coming in. And what's really cool is basically we're going to start to give rewards to people based on the economic activity inside of the game. So the specific game, for example. So for example, if you spend a pixel inside of core pixels, right now we send 80% of that pixel to a community treasury. What we're about to do is we're actually about to switch that up and send that 80% of pixel back to people who are staking pixels to core pixels. And then the same thing will happen with Forgotten Runes or with Pixel Dungeons too. So you have to choose the game, and based on the game that you choose, if there's people spending their in-game rewards inside of the game, the stakers will get a share of that back. Really cool system, right? So basically all the pixels spent in Forgotten Runes, or at least a portion of it, will be going back to stakers who staked the Forgotten Runes game, right? It's a really interesting way to kind of reward the economic activity inside of a game and help you guys kind of make decisions on where all of this goes. So yeah, if you haven't checked out Forgotten Runes, I guess Heidi's showing the little demo video right now.
Yeah, you can check this out on their page too. Their handle on X is Runiverse Game.
Yeah, Runiverse, that's the game name. Forgotten Runes is like the IP. It's a cool ecosystem that they're building out. And there's such good alignment here in this ecosystem. So essentially how we view it is there's a large amount of demand for games that are actually pretty good and ready. If you guys just saw the news, Treasure shut down their publishing business. And I think that their publishing model was directionally right. I actually really loved what Treasure was doing. But I think the issue with Treasure was they were kind of working with games that were a little too early, right? For this Pixels game ecosystem and like what we're doing on a decentralized publishing model is we want to work with games that are live and basically ready to go and have instant utility for the tokens that they integrate in, right? Like we don't want to work with any other game that is a little too early stage, right? We're not in the business of making venture bets. And what this system is going to do is basically when you come in to go stake Pixel, eventually what we're going to do is we're actually going to decentralize where the pixel goes. So right now, 28 million pixel is reserved for ecosystem initiatives every single month. That basically goes all the players inside of the game right now through mechanisms like task board, or some of it's given to Pixel Dungeons. Now some of it's also going to be given to Forgotten Runes. We have predetermined these amounts based on deals that we've made. But eventually, what we're going to do is when you stake the pixel, that's actually going to determine how much rewards each game gets to give, right? So if you're more bullish on Pixel Dungeons and core pixels, or more bullish on Forgotten Runes, and you stake your pixel to these games, they actually might get more pixel rewards to give out, right? And what's going to happen is it's probably going to be related to how many rewards they give back to stakers, right? So there's really good economic incentives and alignment there to choose the games that are performing well, right? So if Core Pixels is not competitive against these other games in the ecosystem, that's kind of an issue for us. We need to make sure that Core Pixels is more fun, competitive, and able to generate like the economics that it needs to in order to make it competitive also. Now, we want to also protect the core game, so we're going to reserve a certain amount of guaranteed pixel for the core game in the short run, but eventually we're going to open it up more. And what's cool is there's actually a pretty big pipeline of other games that want to do a similar style of collaboration with us too. So basically, it's just more ways to use the pixel token across a bunch of different games. And it's ways to get involved with other ecosystems that's actually very beneficial for the pixel ecosystem too. It's kind of a win-win scenario, because now what Forgotten Runes and Runeverse gets to do is they get to go and experiment with a live token, because everybody gets really, really cocky in Web3 before they have a live token integrated into their game. And it is quite difficult to actually get a live token integrated. So they get some time to experiment, figure out how to give out the rewards in the best way. And there's some other end goals for the Pixels ecosystem too. What we're trying to do also is we're trying to build out other revenue streams for the ecosystem that are not just in our own native token, right? So yeah, what we're about to do too is, we're experimenting with other ways we might be able to help and assist games through some of our play to earn tech, right? And when Forgotten Runes goes and launches XP, their own upcoming token too, what would be really interesting is if they still use some of our tech and we're able to kind of generate revenue streams in the XP token too, because we're able to help them give out rewards better or unlock some efficiencies or do whatever else, right? And that can still go to stakers. And those rewards are not diluting the main pixel token, right? So what that means is there's basically more inflows to the pixel token that are not just in the native token, and it's kind of a more sustainable way to do this in the long run too. So that's kind of the end goal with the staking system. I can show you guys the mockups again because it's cool. We have a live version. Contracts are getting audited right now, but I don't want to share the like. It's always like kind of a risky thing to share a demo live. So ideally, we get staking out. It could be next week. It might be the week after. It will go live in April. I've been waiting for this for a long time. I'm super excited about it. And yeah, it's going to change this game a little bit. So when we have staking out, there's going to be another thing that comes out as well too, withdrawal taxes. And this is going to be an interesting one. So one cool thing that we're going to be doing inside of the game is we're going to be making it so that your in-game pixel balance is automatically staked for you. You actually don't have to do anything. What we'll do is we'll basically just stake the pixel balance in-game on your behalf to Core Pixels, right? And you'll actually be able to earn the staking rewards by just having pixel in-game, which is pretty cool, right? And in addition to that, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding a withdrawal tax or a withdrawal fee, basically. So what we're going to do is we're basically going to charge a fee for withdrawing pixel into like normal pixel, essentially. And just to give you guys a warning, this is the last warning, basically. The withdrawal fees will probably be a little bit more aggressive than some people are expecting even, right? Now, it sounds hard at first, right? But remember, the revenue or all of the fees that are generated in game, even through the withdrawal fees, are going to be given to stakers. So basically, it's a way to kind of reward the people who are holding the token more so than the ones who immediately want to sell the token, right? So basically, if you keep your in-game balance and you're not withdrawing it as much, you actually might start making more earnings that way than just selling the token immediately, right? It's kind of a way to align the long-term interest of the game and the players a little bit more, right? Like what we want to do is we want to make it so that you're rewarded and respected for holding the token more than just selling it immediately, right? And it's important to align those interests. So it's going to be a little bit of a different strategy than what you're maybe used to right now. We might expect some pushback from some users, but it's actually a pretty necessary change, right? Like I said, in markets like this, it exposes some of the fundamental problems of Web3 games and like our game in particular, right? And this is one of the things that we need to address basically. Like, how do we get people to want to hold the token more rather than just immediately sell it when they get it? So what we can do is we can kind of create systems that incentivize this too. Now, what I will say is it's not your fault if you are like earning the token and immediately selling it right now. It's kind of the system that we set up. So it's kind of on us to make sure that there's good systems that align the incentives between us and players, and also, think about the long term as well too. Now, another interesting thing that we're going to be doing is we'll also probably waive the fees, and this won't come out right away. This is going to come out hopefully within the month after staking, is what I'll try to say. Is we're going to be introducing a new type of reward token too. It's probably going to be called like vPixel or SPixel. It'll basically be a token where you can withdraw it, pay no fees when you withdraw. So 0 fees on withdrawal. And this token will be a spend or stake only token. So for example, if you earn Pixel inside of the game and you don't want to pay withdrawal fees, but you wanted to go and use that Pixel in Pixel Dungeons or in Forgotten Runes, Runeverse, or whatever other partner game that we can, you'll pay 0 fees, but you can only use that token to spend it or stake it and earn from staking, right? So it's a big change up, but it'll be pretty interesting. Now, withdrawal fees, how are they going to work? It'll be tied to your reputation. And we're also going to make a few changes to reputation over the next little bit too. There'll be some tweaks there. How reputation will work is we're going to, first of all, remove the cap on reputation that you get from lands. So if you have like 50 lands, you might have a crazy high reputation now. That, right? And reputation will be the one way to lower your withdrawal tax. The withdrawal tax will be quite aggressive for like normal free-to-play players, right? You'll be able to decrease or increase it through the normal ways that you increase reputation now, like completing in-game quests, purchasing VIP. We'll probably do tiers of VIP coming soon as well. So you'll be able to buy VIP in like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. And there might be other incentives to like keep the VIP tiers as well. But then the easiest way to increase your reputation will probably be with holding land. So I'm excited about that. I think there's good alignment with that system essentially, where essentially if you want more liquid rewards, there might be some more hoops that you need to jump through. But otherwise, some of the rewards will be still able to be spent inside of the game just like normal. And your pixel balance will be the same too, right? So if you have, the V pixel, or if you call it S pixel, I think it'll be called S pixel. Essentially, if you deposit it into the game, it will still just work like normal pixel balance. There won't be any difference. If you withdraw it, you can withdraw normal pixel if you pay a withdrawal fee, or you can withdraw like this S pixel token that's spend only or stake only. So it's different, right? And we're giving you warning now. If that's not a system that you like and you have balance in the game, this is your warning. And this will be coming right around staking. We might release a little bit earlier, and we might like ease into the fees a little bit. But again, that's your warning. It's a little bit different of a strategy, but I think this makes sense to align long-term interest and like make sure that, the people who want to hold the token are rewarded more than the people who want to sell it immediately, basically.
Yeah, so how will land work with staking? It's not a fixed amount pixel to stake, unlike the token. Sorry, I fully thought this was related to reputation and stuff. Do you want to address this?
Yeah. So again, immediately, what land will do when it comes to rewards is it's going to be the easiest way to lower your withdrawal tax. And that's going to be the first kind of utility there. Now, what we're kind of debating right now is I think there's something interesting. I'm trying to figure out what exactly this looks like. And then the only reason I'm saying this is because I know if I say this right now, I have to commit to it, is for the in-game staked balance, we might be able to play around with basically giving some boost for land ownership there as well. We have to figure out what that looks like. But it'll probably be coming from that in-game pool of staking rewards, essentially. The player balance to direct staking will come in V1. Yes, ideally. It's actually quite easy for us to do. Basically, we just take all the pixel that's sitting there because we keep all of the pixel 1-to-1 in withdrawals. Like we make sure that it's accounted for basically. So if you have an in-game pixel balance, we make sure right now that it's backed 1-to-1 with a real pixel in all of our operator wallets or in all of our multi-sigs, all of this too. So we'll basically just do is we'll just stake that pixel that's sitting in these operator wallets, and then send the rewards to the people who have the balance in the game.
Okay.
Oh, this is a good question. Play the airdrop for Forgotten Universe finishes in bulk. How will this help the token if they can get instant liquidity from pixels? So one, Forgotten Runes, and like any partner that we work with, they're expected to return a certain amount of the economic activity, or basically the rewards that are spent inside of a game to stakers inside of the game, right, for the particular game, right? So there is essentially a loop there that's kind of interesting. I have to be kind of careful about how I talk about this sometimes. But basically, there's good alignment with people that hold the token and people that are using the token inside of the game. And how this decentralized publishing model that we're working on works in the long run is if they're not really giving out competitive rewards to stakers, their emissions might get slashed, right? So this is going to be how it works for like basically every game that we partner with in the long run. There's a minimum amount that they're going to have to make sure it goes back to staking rewards, right? And it's kind of this like return on reward spend idea, right? So we're kind of setting a floor on expected return on reward spend. So for example, if we give a game, 5 million pixel to give out as rewards, we want to make sure that it's performing at least as good as core pixels when it comes to return on reward spend, right? If a game is performing much worse, it doesn't make sense to give a lot of rewards to that game, right? If they're not giving some of the rewards back to our stakers. So there's slashing mechanisms built in to protect that in like the long term of what we're doing with this decentralized staking model. And what's cool about this decentralized staking model is like it's kind of ready to go when we release staking V1, and we're going to curate the partners in the beginning stages too. But eventually, I kind of want no partner curation in the long run. I want all of this to work decentralized because it's going to be really cool when that goes live. So basically, if you have a game and you meet some minimum on-chain threshold, for example, like it might be DAU or it might be something else, you'll be eligible to go and get your own Pixels node and be eligible to like receive some of the Pixel rewards that people stake to that game. So staking to the game is how that game gets rewards. So you need to convince people in the Pixels ecosystem to believe in your game as well, right? If nobody in the Pixels ecosystem believes in this game, if you're a new game coming in trying to join the ecosystem and nobody's willing to stake to your node, you're not going to receive any Pixel to give out to your users. So that's how it works in the long run.
Okay. While you're looking for the next question, I wanted to remind you guys all that we're doing like a really fun little campaign on X this week, and it's called this is Pixelated Me. You might have seen I posted the first one because I needed a screenshot example of what I wanted people, or what we were hoping people would post, which is a photo of themselves or their NFT, their PFP, whatever they go by, and then a picture of themselves in pixels. And you say like, this is me and this is Pixelated Me. I guess I can show the one that I posted because we need an example. Or here, someone just posted one. Actually, I can just use this. 1 second, I'll share my screen. And then there will be a winner at the end of the week. A random entry will be chosen. So I think the reward. Oh, I think we're giving away like 15 avatars. Speaking of, I'm also going to give away an avatar on this AMA. So I think there's going to be tons of rewards available. So yeah, this is pretty fun. This is someone like literally on a tractor. Love to see it. And then this is them in game. So yeah, go post. This is the format. You just say, this is me and this is Pixelated Me. And then make sure you use this hashtag and tag us so we can see your post. And I think on Friday, there will be like 15 winners chosen or something like that. So go participate. It's really fun. It's really wholesome. I've loved seeing everyone's entries. There have been so many really great ones. So yeah. All right. You can keep going.
Yeah, can we ask about merchant ships and how it's performed so far? Yeah, so merchant ships, let me pull up some of that data. So far, I think let me get it. I'm just looking at some of the stuff right now. Yeah, actually, the performance has been pretty decent. It's contributing to a decent amount of in-game pixel spend. And yeah, it looks like there's been. I think I need to come back and actually like give you guys the. There's a lot of numbers to look at here to evaluate performance, but anecdotally, and like what the team is seeing is it's a good feature in some aspects, right? Now, some of the issue here and some of the stuff we need to talk about is some players are in a state where every feature that they're evaluating the performance of, if it's a good feature or not, is how much profit they can make, right? And it's not necessarily a bad thing. That's kind of what we've built the game around, is like an early hook too. But a lot of the work that the Pixels team will be doing over the next little bit is we need to focus on the players that like the game and like the features, right? So there's a couple of different types of people inside of the ecosystem right now. There are the earn motivated players. There are the players that would stick here without any earnings. There are players who have like a bit of both, right? How I always view earnings is I think they're a really good hook into the game, and I think they're a really powerful tool, right? But when we're building out features and we're thinking about the long term of Pixels, the earn people are important people, right? But the players who are the most important are the ones who love the game and they're willing to get items in the game because they like the items, right? When we frame every single feature around the player as ROI, right? It's actually a little bit of a dangerous thing to do, because what we need is we need people who actually want to use the in-game items for whatever reason, right? And somebody asked about the rotating store. This is a great example, right? So please put some good items in the rotating stores. Currently, all items are useless. This is what the team needs to start to work on and kind of dial in too. So
And there's
if
more
you guys,
coming.
yeah, there is more coming, and this is a large focus of what we're working on at like for this feature in particular. And this is one of the things we were talking about when we were releasing merchant ships, being like, okay, we think the rewards probably need to get better in the long run and they need to be more useful. And this is the kind of content that we're going to be releasing more too. So when I think about performance of merchant ships, it's kind of also tied in with the rewards that we're giving to. Do the rewards feel worth it, right? And again, what we want people to think about with the rewards is this a good reward? Is this something I would be willing to spend pixel on because I want this, right? Not just because it's going to get me like pixel ROI. And if the rewards aren't good enough, this feature won't work, right? So this is a part of what we've been talking about with like the strategy of core pixels too, of like, you know, we need to get back to the roots a little bit, and we need to make sure that all these game mechanics feel fun and feel snappy and feel like they're worth it to users. And we just went through a ton of economic rebalancing, right? We're finally in the stage of Pixels where we can focus on this stuff. So internally, we have a couple of things that we're working on. We talked about this last week in the AMA. We're starting to focus a little bit more on social features again inside of the game. And what that means is we're focused on like more UGC generated features again too. You're going to see some stuff come out pretty soon that will enable you to make like a few more mini games on your land, for example. We're doing some exploratory work on if we can really enhance the social features when it comes to some of this user generated content too. We actually have some really awesome systems in the game that actually allow you to do some crazy stuff if we open it up a little bit more. Like we showed you guys the map editor, all of that kind of stuff, right? Basically, every single thing that you see inside of a game is built with a scripting language that we invented called PixScript. And we're trying to see if we can start to open up some of that functionality to users to unlock more social elements inside of the game. And it might come with like some other things too that you guys have been asking for, right? The other way to make in-game items useful are some of the like player quality of life improvements. So for example, like extra bookmarks or like speed ups or like tools that are a bit more efficient, right? Like if you had a pickaxe that was like, if you played Minecraft, right? There's pickaxe boosts on Minecraft or like enchantments that you can add into them that increase speed, efficiency. They don't break down as quickly. There's things like that that we can start to add into the game, which would be quite easy and pretty cool for us to do, right? And yeah, we don't have to basically have all the chase content oriented around like the landowner content. That's been the easiest stuff to get in because we have a lot of like mechanics built around land right now. I know I'll get some pushback on that, but that is the truth, right? Like a lot of the game mechanics are built around NFT land and boost and this kind of stuff. But if that's the only chase content, we need to build it out for more than just that type of player too. We want to basically make it so there's other content that players who are not just landowners want to get as well, that they'd be willing to go for in these merchant ship features. Now, this also has to be tied in. We talked about this concept of Endgame a little bit too in the last AMA.
What is Endgame?
Yeah. Just to clarify what Endgame is, merchant ships is a good example of an Endgame feature. What Endgame means is what are the high levels inside of the game doing, right? Like what are the features that when you've been playing the game for a long time, you interact with every day? Before merchant ships, the only Endgame feature was task board, right? Like that was really the only feature, and maybe events for players to do on a day-to-day basis, right? Now merchant ships has added another Endgame loop, right? Not everybody has to do it if they don't want to do it, right? But it's another option of gameplay that you get if you want to, do something else inside of the game. Now, I don't think Pixels is complete until we have basically like one larger loop of why are you getting all of these resources. We basically need like one more final end game loop, and that'll kind of be the idea behind chapter 3. So chapter 3, what it's going to be looking like is we're still going down that competitive land route, basically of introducing like one type of new temporary land that users will be able to kind of compete for. There needs to be some element of like PvP or PvE. And in the farm game, it doesn't always have to be combat, right? It can be other things that are like semi-collaborative or like semi-competitive, but it doesn't have to be combat. We talked about combat a lot. And realistically, if we want to get combat in the game, it's a big undertaking. And it's really not, I know some people want it, but it would be like a 12-month thing, basically. And we have to decide basically like what are the right features to build in the time frame that we have to get the game into a spot that is more fun than it is now and kind of completes the game, right? So chapter 3, it doesn't necessarily have to be anything super crazy, but it does need to add in some elements of like, rush, FOMO, competition, PvE, right? So that's kind of the idea too. If we want to make compelling end game content or chase content, basically other rewards that you guys would want besides Pixel, they need to do stuff inside of the game. And it's much easier for stuff to do stuff if there's more end game loops as well, right? Like there's more stuff to do inside of the game with your stuff than just do task board better or do merchant ships more efficiently, right?
Yeah, okay. I saw a question about it, but I lost it. Something about kind of a new feature we were playing around with, and that is we launched an in-game announcement last Friday saying that if you logged into and played a premium dungeon in Pixel Dungeons within a certain time period, you would get a coupon in Pixels where people were sent them out yesterday. So check your mailbox if you haven't yet. A coupon to mint 40 Pixel Dungeon pickaxes in Pixels. So you go to the Pixels bank basement, use your coupon on the little machine there, little like hut. He would exchange them for pickaxes that are minted to your wallet, and then you go over to Pixel Dungeons and you can use those in game for free. So what did you guys think of that? I saw someone just like briefly mention it, and I forget, I didn't know what their question was, but that was pretty cool. So just wanted to bring it up.
Luke, fixed recipe quantity because resource flooding in the market in game. Yeah, so this is the other short-term initiative that we have too. We got really, really good at stopping like a lot of pixel bot farming. Now we're going to use some of the same tactics to go and attack some of the coin farming that's happening inside of the game too. So there might be a few changes here coming as well. There's some data science that we can do, which is cool. And there's also some economic changes that we'll probably make to the game and tweaks that we'll make to the game as well too. More recipes and things to do is part of this. And the other part too is kind of centered around changing our approach to in-game trading a little bit too. So what you'll probably see is you might see some changes to reputation and maybe more aggressive fees when it comes to like coin trading based on reputation, right? So there's some tweaks that we might need to do there with that. And Yeah, that's kind of the idea too. So there's some easy wins that we can basically get on the game economics with the tools that we have. So the team is going to take some like short-term focus to kind of fix some of these core in-game issues. Like one example is like some of the resources are getting flooded in the game on the lower levels right now, or by some of the industries like apiaries, right, are producing a ton of honey, where honey is kind of useless, and that's kind of been a little bit of an issue too. But yeah, we'll kind of spend some of the next month addressing some of these things essentially as well. Here, let's get some more questions up. When new milk recipes appear in the task board? Let me ask about that. Yeah, they should go in soon too. So we're gonna be rolling out a lot more recipes. Like I think ideally you're gonna get new recipes every week for the next month or so.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is what I was saying yesterday, because some people were like, why just milk? I want this. And it's like, yeah, no. This is part of like a massive update to tons of different recipes. So there's going to be there's tons and tons of different recipes, but we just decided to slowly release them instead of all at once. So you're going to see like a trickle of new recipes coming. So I know these ones currently, they don't really have a lot of utility, but like that will happen, right, over time, and task board and other things.
Yeah, they'll go in task board to merchant ships, and the goal with these recipes too is what we're trying to do is basically there's a lot of gaps between levels when you get unlocks, right? Like there's sometimes like a 20 level gap between when you get one recipe and the next one. We're basically trying to close that and create like consistent content and like progression through the recipes for your entire gameplay. So they'll be centered around every type of industry and every skill, essentially, and kind of releasing week by week.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That wasn't the one I meant to do. Here, any questions that you see that are good? Oh yeah, here's a good one. Yeah, because there's not much story or ways to care about the Pixels world, deepen and rich in this aspect. Yeah, we've been talking about this internally. This is something I've been trying to push for a long time. And yeah, for some reason, we just have not been able to execute on story or lore, even though we have all the tools to do it. I agree with you. I think this is also going to be a change to our live ops strategy. One thing that I have directed the team is no more high fidelity holiday events, which I know is a little sad because I know a lot of you really love the holiday events. But I personally think if we do any event from now on, it should be around story and lore and narrative, just like you would expect in a normal kind of MMO, right? How MMOs normally do live ops is they have events and then they stay in the game and they add story to the game too, right? Like a lot of the fun of like a new quest coming out in RuneScape or a new raid coming out in WoW is like being some of the first to do it, right? But then they stay in the game and they're there for a long time, right? So we're gonna switch up our strategy there a little bit.
Do both. Yeah, we're talking. We're talking. Can you? Oh, sorry.
I was gonna.
Go for it.
What is the point of new recipes if they don't have utility? They'll be added to either merchant ships or to task board.
Can you add more mini games like Avronym suggested? So she posted something on Twitter earlier. I actually responded to it. Things are coming, because things are coming. A certain building in Terravilla is under construction, and that's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Do I know?
I think so. Okay, let's scroll back to some earlier ones. Oh, I just really enjoyed how he wrote like steak with a steak emoji. This was the first thing I pinned. I think we already talked about this a bunch, but if you have any more questions, please let us know. Yeah, this is funny too. Someone correcting you. Look, we know. We all mess it up. But yeah, go check out their game, guys. It's pretty cool. Okay, I pinned this one because I think it was a good clarifying question when you were talking about like staked pixels. So more rewards for more pixels in game.
Yeah, I mean, that's essentially how it works, right? So basically, if you have in-game pixel, it's going to be treated like it's staked. So you don't even have to go and like take it. How staking is going to work is staking will be fully on-chain and outside of the game normally, right? So you could withdraw your pixel and go stake it. Or if you just have pixel in the wallet, the interaction will be fully on-chain and coming from your wallet, right? But if you have pixel in the game, what we'll do is we're going to stake all that pixel balance on behalf of users, essentially, and just distribute the rewards to people who have it in game. So you won't even have to do anything, basically. Just by having pixel in game, you're already staking.
Okay. Everything BS. Slow rug. Really slow, guys. It's been like 3.5 years. So
Yeah,
taking
no,
our
yeah,
time.
something funny about this. Yeah, no, people actually rug projects and they're gone in like a week. And then the people that stick around are, it's because we're showing face and we're sticking around and we're building, right? Where they end up getting most of the criticism. Here's the real thing with Web3 gaming, right? Web3 gaming is still in the spot where nothing has really worked yet, right? Like nobody really still knows how to build a Web3 game that's successful and like works in the long run and is sustainable, right? So we have to try a lot of things and take risks and make mistakes. And we do that publicly too, right? But believe me, it would be way easier just to check out and not build anything, not do any updates. But that's also why we do these AMAs, right? As hard as they are sometimes, right? Like sometimes I don't want to come up here and do an AMA because I'm like, oh damn, market is tanking, or like something that we tried didn't go the right way, right? And that's a part of building something too, right? So what I will say is, yeah, it's funny. I know a lot of people in Web 2 that have had amazing success in Web 2. They come into Web 3 and they get like bullied out of it. What I'll say is the Pixels team has thick skin, and we're gonna continue to be here and show up regardless of any.
Right now. I won't say where, but yeah, it's tough. You need a thick skin.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, I hope that like at least you can see that we really care about making the best thing that we can. And again, in order to actually build something that works inside of Web3, like you have to give tolerance to the team not getting everything right, because we have to take risks and try things, right? So that's also why we do these AMAs, so we can get some feedback from you guys on what you think is going right, what you think is going wrong. And yeah, what I can say is like on a personal level, I still have a lot of energy. I'm still very committed to this for the long run. And I will continue to show up if there are 7 players inside of the game still, right? What I care about most is, are we building a game that people love? And are we making track towards building something sustainable in the long run, right? Because I think if you have those two things, things work out in the end, right? Again, we have the runway to do it. We have the energy to do it too. That's quite important. Like, do we care still? And we're showing up here every single week because we care, and it's not always easy, especially when things are kind of going against you when it comes to macro markets, all this kind of stuff. But yeah, basically, again, how I view this market right now is it exposes some of the things that are not going right in a way that a good market wouldn't. And it's a time to kind of address some of this stuff too. So yeah, what we're about to do, like I think the withdrawal fees are going to be actually a pretty big difference maker when it comes to figuring out like some of the sustainability here. One thing that we need to figure out is basically like, how do we make it so that players who love the game and want to stay inside of the game are rewarded more than the people who just want to earn and sell the token immediately, right? Like that's actually a key thing to figure out when it comes to incentive alignment, right? Because one of the things here is like, it's funny, the people who are only here to earn and like just want to sell the token immediately actually are harming the people who love the game and want to hold the token more too, right? Like there's something wrong about that. And if I'm being completely honest, I care 10 times more about the players who are here because they love the game, because that's what you need for the fundamentals and the baseline, right? So when we get feedback from users, that's also kind of the feedback that we're going to be looking at too, right? Like more of the feedback that's oriented around like, how can we make the game better and feel more fun? And that doesn't mean that some of the stuff here, like this is a good example of feedback that might make the game more fun, right? It's like maybe tied to like some of the earning aspects, but like some of that is a part of the fun of the game, right? I can explain this particular one, and what we're thinking on here is you're now giving T4 pixel tasks to lower levels. Do they receive T4 coin tasks too? T4 tasks and more like T3 and Tier 4 tasks surface to more players is actually something that was very, very requested by the landowner community. And part of what we were trying to accomplish with this is basically having more people wanting to have these Tier 3 and these Tier 4 resources, right? They were only surfaced to high levels early on. And like the end effect of that was actually there was like very few people that were at the high levels that actually were able to see tasks that had these resources. Now there's more people that have to go into the marketplace and go and buy these Tier 3 and Tier 4 tasks too. Now there's something a little interesting because some people see there's this concept of like blocker tasks inside of the game right now, right? Where some people see like a very high level coin task and they kind of like eat that task because they know it's not profitable for them. And it kind of increases their CPP, their cost per pixel. Like we know all the ins and outs of like how players view this stuff. Yeah, there might be something there about surfacing more of the coin task, but I think the key thing there that people are concerned about is like the CPP being different for different types of users. There's other ways we can tweak and balance that too. So we'll be looking at that a little bit. Like there's a couple different ways that we can accomplish this. It could be surfacing the coin tasks to these users too to increase their CPP, or there might be another way also on the back end.
Okay, we got like 8 more minutes left. So we are going to be giving away an avatar, maybe closer to the end. Here, let me show you this one. I was looking through the marketing wallet earlier. I was like, let's do it. Let's have some fun. So I'm going to give away this guy. This is what he looks like in game, kind of like a zombie with a crown, maybe the king of zombies. I feel like we already have like king and queen of zombies. We got Zombina, obviously. And then W3. But, maybe we can have another one. You guys can fight over it. Anyways, yeah, we'll give that out maybe in a few minutes here. So
yeah.
Get ready.
Kieran made a comment about Tier 3, Tier 4 coin task was to balance the coin tasks. Since so this is like a CPP thing too. So like I said, surfacing more coin tasks could be a way to do it. We also have some of the smart task board features too. So that might be the other lever that we can play with the balancing. I would agree. We generally want like more efficiency for people who are further through the game than earlier in the game, because that does lead to some of the balance that we want when it comes to like progression and all of this stuff too. So yeah, we'll take a look at that again. But there's actually some pretty easy levers that we can pull there. And we have been looking at that right now. We're looking at that with both coin earnings and pixel earnings. I personally think also addressing some of the coin earnings will probably be one of the bigger unlocks for pixel economy in the short run, since we can kind of cut down some of that early item inflation. It's going to feel way more worth it to earn some of these coin tasks, right? But yeah, it also might make some of the things more expensive if your normal game loop is just to like go into the task board, then go to the marketplace, buy everything that you need. Part of what we want the game loop to be more of is like you having to get your own resources more if you're trying to earn in the task board, right? That loop of just going straight to the marketplace is not nearly as fun, in my opinion. And I think you guys kind of agree, but also the people who are like only profit oriented will disagree. So there's a balance of these different types of players too, right? But again, when I think about the people that we're building for, like what we really are building for right now, and especially in this market, it's even more important, is we need to be building future features and the core features too, and updating them in the right way for the people that actually like the game and want to see the game be as good as possible when it comes to the player experience, when it comes to like the fun level of the game too. And if we focus too much on some of the like how do I optimize earnings features versus like some of the how do we make the game more fun features, then I don't think we're going to accomplish the long-term goals that we need to. So yeah, in this current market, I think it's the time to make these decisions like this and kind of like do some more drastic changes like that. But also, I completely agree. Like some of the fun of the game is economics. So if they're not balanced or feeling right, the game's not fun either. So that's why we're going to do more of an aggressive push towards some of the coin farming now, and kind of even that out a little bit.
Okay. Oh yeah. This is an example of like we push things quickly and then we need to tweak a little bit here. So I believe shorelines have been removed from merchant ships for now. They'll probably be added in the future post shoreline event. But shorelines also only come around once a year on summer solstice. So you're going to have to wait until then to be able to plant them. But yeah, just wanted to let you know that. No Easter event. There might be something small. So what Luke is getting at is if you guys were around during the holiday season, December, we had the winter carnival and it was intense. It was intense. There was a lot going on. You really had to like be reading spreadsheets and how-tos and like it was I didn't if I'm being honest with you as like marketing, I was struggling to portray all of the information to you all in a consumable way. It was actually quite hard to figure out the best way to do that. So we've kind of taken a step back and thought, okay, also it was temporary, right? Like we have the tech there, which is great. But you know, it's all winter themed and it was very much like focused on just the winter carnival. So what we're doing is we're taking a step back and we're redesigning some live ops events that will be more like continuous, reusable, like those sorts of things. So as for like holiday themed stuff, if we do it, it will be really chill. So there might be a really chill Easter event. You'll have to wait and see. But and we're still doing live ops. Our live ops team has not shrunk; it has grown. So there will be lots more fun, like events and stuff coming. It's just a little bit different than what you guys are used to.
Yeah. So part of what we're going to be doing too is automating some of the live ops a little bit more so they're extremely consistent if we do them again, where yeah, that's where some of the issues with the live ops strategy have gone before, where it's like, okay, this isn't templated. So they're not the same every time. The rewards are different, all of that too. We're gonna have stricter requirements on that. So there's no surprises on any of this kind of stuff. Oh yeah, somebody asked about ads. Ads is proven and will be helpful for your game. I agree. So we actually just surfaced the first ad inside of the game for Pixel Dungeons. It was kind of ugly. We apologize about that. It's funny because the team sent me what the ad would look like, and I thought it was a mock-up. Because I was like, oh, it won't look like that. Surely they're just like put some white text there, and some of you didn't believe it, which is kind of funny. But it was actually quite effective. So we'll start doing some more stuff like that, and then yeah, we're working with a few other people to fill some ad inventory now. The hard part with building a browser-based Web3 game is actually there's not that many people, it's interesting, that want to run ads inside of Web3 games. They still view it as very risky in Web2. Now, if we were to release a mobile game like the Pets game, which is looking pretty great, let me see if I can have it next to me. Oh yeah, here I have it. It's looking even better this week. I'm so excited about it. This is actually much easier to place ads in. But that's not to say that we can't build the inventory. The user base is here. It's higher quality, but it might be like limited who we show ads to. Now, what's cool is there's other games in the ecosystem where we can start to run campaigns. Forgotten Runes, Pixel Dungeons, whoever else joins soon too, where it's kind of win-win, right? Like if we show you guys an announcement for Pixel Dungeons and give you incentive to go in there, it's a win-win scenario, right? So we're looking at some of those opportunities too. But I agree, ads are quite important for long-term economics of the game. And yeah, I don't know if you guys saw updates to the Pets app. I posted like a screenshot.
So cute.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
it's the pets are not as pixelated anymore based on your guys' feedback. I need to take care of my pet too. Yeah, and then there's also some better mini games that have come up too. This mini game, which one is it? Yeah, the Pixel Match. I've been obsessed with this one. I actually had never played a match game like this before. I don't want to lose actually also. But I feel like you've played these games a lot, Heidi, right?
All the time. Yeah.
I just
Big
messed up.
mini game player.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what I did though? I put on my phone, I put all of my mini games on the very last page so that I wasn't wasting so much time. And it actually worked. I haven't played mini games in like weeks. Maybe I need to move them back.
Well, yeah, no, it's actually important for
Right up.
discovery. So yeah, if I complete these levels, I earn coins inside of this game. I can buy stuff for my pets. There's leaderboards with all of your friends inside of this game. Yeah, I can buy different things for my pet with the coins I earned from the mini games, and I can buy premium stuff with Pixel. I can chat with my friends. Yeah, the game's looking a lot more complete now, and this will be ready for early access, maybe end of the month or maybe in May, basically. And then full go-to-market release will probably be sometime around like June is the target, right? Another mini game where I can earn some coins inside of this game. But yeah.
Okay, we are at time, so let's do the giveaway. So if you guys are new here, how we do giveaways on here is probably the least official, most chaotic thing ever, and that is my mouse has a spinny wheel on it, and I go over the live chat and stop and click on a random comment. Doesn't matter what it says. We have chosen some rough ones before, and then the winner can reach out to support, and we'll get you your reward. So the live chat works for both YouTube and X. So if you're on the X live chat, you can enter as well. I think an X person actually won like 3 times ago, and people were so confused. Okay, all right. Let's go. Let's spin. Let's go. Let's spin. And when available on the App Store. All right. Well, Luke can answer these questions, but Cleon X, congratulations, you have won this fun Misty Cat. Hold on, let me share my screen again. Avatar, and yeah, we will get that to you. So reach out to support. You have to convince support that you are you, and then we'll get that sent over. Okay, great. Should we wrap it up there?
Yep, I think so. Yeah, so I guess core thing here, staking coming soon. Again, withdrawal taxes or fees are coming with staking. So keep that in mind. If you have in-game balance, it will be staked automatically. So don't worry about that. If you want to like, avoid the fee basically to go stake, we're going to stake your in-game balance for you right away. So you actually don't have to do anything to stake, which is kind of cool, right? Like you'll be staking automatically by having in-game balance. Eventually, hopefully quite soon after we release staking, we're going to release a new type of token that you're going to be able to withdraw for no fees that will still let you spend or stake in other games. Big change there, right? And then, yeah, we're just going to keep making the game more fun. We're going to keep showing up, doing these AMAs. And yeah, thanks everybody for being here. It's funny because last market that was not good is when we actually started building some important stuff to get us to where we're at now. And
Hawkins, I think, was one of the first things we did after the market tanked.
yeah, we launched Berry like a month after FTX or something like that.
Yeah, sorry, I was talking about like the first one.
Yeah. And I think that was the right approach. So yeah, team is still excited. We're still working here. And yeah, we really love and appreciate everybody who appreciates what we're building, right? We're going to keep building for you guys. Web3 gaming will never die because Chicken Pet will always be here. And yeah, we'll keep building for the people that love what we're building.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned Chicken Pet in an AMA in like a month. So there we go. All right. Thank you guys so much. This was a good AMA. You guys are really lovely. We have new memes today. What? They were taking screenshots of us and post them. I know on my I posted my vlog from GDC I posted it a few hours ago. You guys can go check it out on my X, on my Twitter. And someone like already memed it from when we were eating escargot. I don't know if you watched the video, Luke. I actually like put in clips of me trying the escargot. And someone memed it. Anyways, I'm ranting now. We have meetings to get to, unfortunately. So we will see you guys later. Bye, guys.
Thanks, everyone.